Alright, so let me tell you about Chrono Trigger. So Chrono Trigger starts out, you're this guy, his name's Chrono, and he's got red hair, and he's like, yo, I got red hair. And his mom's like, whatever, you gotta go to the fair. And Chrono's like, what? And she's like, you gotta go to the fair, and you're gonna have a good time. By the way, your friend's gonna be there. Her name's like Luca or something, and he's like, all right, score. So you go to the fair, and you run to this bitch whose name she's like, my name's Marley, but I'm definitely not Lene, who's the queen of the like region or whatever. And the colonel's like, all right, sure, I'll buy that. So you go a little further, and Luca's like, yo, check out this new invention I made. It's like a transponder, and you go from like one side of the area to the other. It's like a teleporting pod or something. And and Marley's like, yo, I want to do it too. And Luca's like, all right, cool. So get in the pod. And she's like, oh wait, I got this pendant, and the pendant is like reacting to the portal thing, and she gets like sent back in time or something. And everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? And they're like, all right, show's over, guys. We gotta figure out what's going on. And then Chrono's like, yo, fuck that. I'm gonna go into the fucking portal and find out what's going on because I'm a fucking badass. And Luca's like, all right, cool. I'll meet up with you later. So Chrono goes back in time, back to 600 AD apparently, and tries to find her. And he goes through like this forest and shit, and like talks to the king, and the king's like, I don't know what's going on. And then he meets up with like the real Lene of the time, but she like disappears, and Chrono's like, what the fuck's going on? And then Luca comes back, and she's like, yo, we gotta go find her because like she's missing in this time. And Chrono's like, all right, cool. So they go to this like church, and they're like, yo, have you seen Lene? And they're like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. But then they turn into like snakes or something, and then you beat them, and then you go through the church, and eventually you come to this guy. His name's like, I don't know what his fucking name is. He's a guy who you gotta fight. He's like the first boss of the game. So you fight him, and then Lene is there, and she's like, hey, thanks for saving me. And then you go back to the castle, and it's like, oh, cool, but I want to do my own thing, so I'm gonna leave the castle. And then you leave, and you go back to you're like, all right, we gotta go. But the king's like, no, you can't leave. Guards, go capture her. And they're like, fuck that. So you go into the field, and there's another like portal thing, and you go through the portal, but then you're like in the fucking future, and like everything's fucking ruined. Everything is totally fucked. So you like go out to the world map, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And you meet this guy. His name's like, I don't know what the fucking his name is. He's like a one. He has like he's like a cyborg, and he has like a wheel on his foot, and you gotta like race him for whatever reason. And then you go through this dome, and you find out that like there's this guy, his name's Lavos, and he like wants to beat up the world. He came from like space or something, but he's been like dormant for a while, so he's like buried in the earth for millions of years. But then like out of nowhere, he's like, surprise, motherfucker, I'm gonna blow up this whole fucking planet. And like you're like with Luca and Marley and Chrono, and they're like, oh shit, we gotta stop them. But first, you go to this other like area in the future, and you meet this guy named Robo. He's like a robot dude, and he like joins the party. He's like, yo, I want to go with you guys. I want to help you guys out because you saved me, and you liberated me from like being like a robot. And Chrono's like, fucking score. So after that, you find out there's like another portal, but it takes you to like the prehistoric era for some reason. And then you like go there, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? And then like you meet this girl named Ayla, who's like this prehistoric, like really powerful bitch. And she's like, yo, I want to join your party because you look pretty strong. and Chrono again is like fucking score. So you go, and then you like find out that the guys, the bad guys in the era, took like your gate key, and you're still trying to find like the red stone because apparently the red stone will help restore the Masamune. And the Masamune is like this sword that Frog uses, and I didn't touch upon this in early in the video, but you meet this guy named Frog, and he's actually a fucking frog, and he's like part of the like guard of the queen. So Frog like lost this sword for whatever fucking reason, and you're trying to like reforge it to like give it to Frog and be like, yo, rejoin our party, dude. We can definitely make a difference. And Frog's like, fuck that. I don't have my sword. So like you're like trying to find out this like where this like this stone is. I think it's called the like dream stone. It's like this red stone that the sword blade is made out of. So in the midst of this whole, hey, cut it out. Don't interrupt my video. Okay. So in the midst of this whole debacle, you're trying to find the Dreamstone, but the Dreamstone is apparently held by like Ayla, and she's like, "Yo, I'll give you this Dreamstone, but you gotta like help me defeat all these reptiles who are like these reptile things in the like BC era." So you go to like their lair and you beat them up, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, Lavos is coming," and Ayla and Chrono are like, what are you talking about? And he's like, yo, Lavos is coming. So like Lavos like arrives like as like a meteor from space and like buries deep in the earth. And Chrono's like, that's cool. So you leave, and then you go to Melchior, who Melchior is like one of the three wise men from the Bible, but like who really cares about the Bible? So Melchior is like one of the like really important people in the story. I don't really remember what his role is, but he's like one of the like main dudes. So he's like, yo, you got Dreamstone? I'm gonna make your sword. And Chrono's like, all right, cool. So he makes the sword, and so you take it back to Frog. And Frog's like, the fucking Masamune? I don't know. I don't know if I want to join your party. I'll have to think about it. So like you give him like a night to think about it. He's like, all right, guys, I'll come with you. I'll take the sword. So in this current time, which is 600 AD, as opposed to 1000 AD, which is about when Chrono was like initially at, in 600 AD, at that point, Magus, who's like the big main shit in 600 AD, he's got his own fucking mansion, and he's just like hanging out, and Frog like wants to kill Magus because Magus is clearly evil. He's mad evil. So Frog is like, yo, Chrono and whoever you pick in your party, if you help me beat Magus, I'll definitely help you out. So you're like, all right, fucking score. So you go to Magus's like his lair, and you beat him up, but like in the like fight, you open up this rift, this time rift, and you go like many years ago, back to like the Ice Ages. And like in the Ice Ages, you find out that like this Queen Zeal, is like trying to like further bring about Lavos. And Chrono's like, I don't know about all that, guys. We should probably beat her up. So you like try to beat her up, but eventually she finds out about your plan, and she like takes someone hostage, and her like friend Dalton is like, yo, you gotta get out of here. So Queen Zeal and Dalton like banish you from that particular time period, the Ice Ages, and then you got to figure out what's going on.
10 seconds.
Okay, and so this is like part one, so to be continued. All right, cool. All right, so part two. So last time we left off, Dalton and Zeal were like, "Yo, you got to get out of here because Lavos is about ready to fucking bust his nut on everybody." And Chrono's like, "All right, we're getting out of here." But at some point, you got to like fight Lavos because like his awakening has been accelerated. Ooh, excuse me. So his awakening has been accelerated by Zeal and the Mammon Machine, which is like a thing in the Dark Ages. So you fight Lavos, and he just fucking rapes you, and then he like kills Chrono for whatever reason. He's like, "Yo, you gotta fucking go," and everyone's like, "No," and Zeal was like, "Yes," and Dalton was like, "I just follow orders." So Chrono's fucking dead at this point, and everyone's all sad, and it's like, "Yo, we gotta bring Chrono back," and like people were like, "Yo, you can definitely bring him back," and Luca and whoever is like, "How?" And they're like, "You gotta go like get a doll of Chrono, and then get the Chrono Trigger, which is like this egg thing, and you bring it to like this mountain, and at the mountain he like gets revived, and everyone's like, all right, cool. So we gotta get fucking revenge on Zeal and Dalton. So we go back to the time period, and we're like, yo, bitch, we gotta kill you because you're being an asshole. So you fight Queen Zeal and Dalton and shit, and you just totally fucking wreck them. And then at this point, this is the point where like side quests can start. But like if you don't care about side quests, you can just go right to fucking Lavos. So at this point, everyone's like pretty high level. So you're like, all right, let's go. Let's just go fucking fight Lavos. So you go fight him, and like the first phase of Lavos is like he turns into like all the previous bosses you fight, and then after you get to the last one, he's like, and then he like blows up. But then you go inside, Lavos, and he's like got this core thing, and that core you gotta fight, and then after you beat the core, then it's the final fucking Lavos, and it's 3 parts. But like you would think the main part was like the highest HP, but it's not. It's this guy on the left. It's like one of his bits, and he's got like millions of HP. And then, you fight him, and it's like and it's fucking amazing music, and there's like this psychedelic background visuals, and like you're like, oh shit is going down. And then you beat Lavos after a while, and he's like, oh shit, I'm fucking dead. And so Lavos dies, and then at the end, depending on like what you did in the game will determine like your ending. So like one of the endings is like you marry Marley, Chrono marries Marley, and I'm like, what? But that happens, and then there's a couple others where there's like the other people involved, but who really cares about that? So that's like Chrono Trigger in a nutshell, pretty much. It's a pretty good game, not gonna lie, even though it's a little weird, I guess. Okay, bye bye.
That's it? Okay, bye bye.